Welcome back to Education AI Parixes. Today we are diving into one of the most important questions in education in the second quarter of the 21st century. How is artificial intelligence reshaping schools in the global south, especially in Asia? We will explore five significant aspects of AI powered schooling, unpack the role of human agency in schools, especially science education, and bust eight of the most common myths about AI in classrooms. By the end, you will have a clear, balanced view of both promises and pitfalls of AI in education. Let us begin with the five most significant aspects of AI powered education in schools. The number one is personalized learning pathways. AI can help the learners individually to adapt their lessons to their own level and their needs. The teachers can use adaptive quizzes and adjust the difficulty of the content they are teaching with the help of AI and the responses of the students. So this is AI is one of the most significant aspect which helps the learners to individualize and personalize their learning. With the help of the teachers' guidance and support, the students will able to learn according to their own difficulties and misconceptions they might have. So AI can support personalized learning pathways. The second aspect of AI powered education in schools is the teacher augmentation, not replacement. It is a common myth that as the AI develops, teachers will be replaced. But we will explore this myth in in a short time. Uh, AI at the present is helping both teachers and the students in augmenting and in supporting and in reinforcing their learnings by in view of their personal choices and personal needs. But there is a myth that teachers will be replaced. We will explore that in a few moments in a later section of this video. AI at the present is augmenting education in schools. The third aspect of AI is the equity and access challenges. At present, we can see that there are digital divides in Asia, and it's not the education is not democratized, and issues of access and equity are very important. There is a big divide in rural and urban areas, and rich and poor, and in there is also a big divide among the availability of language, uh, local languages, for example, Urdu and other local languages. We don't have content. Most of the AI supported content, almost 90% is in. Although there are translation available, but that does not support the local languages in a way. So the equity and access has created some challenges for schools. The fourth aspect, which is very important, is the human agency. Students and teachers must retain their decision making power. Questioning AI outputs, designing experiments, and selection of content from AI, and then using and reflecting on the content is very important. The human agency in the context of making choices and decisions, how to use the content and the responses provided by the AI will remain with the students and the teachers. The teachers and the students must maintain their independence and must reflect on the outputs of AI and the suggestions of the AI while designing experiments and while designing their responses. Individuality of the student in learning is very important. Their interests and their needs are also very important. So, maintaining human agency in education and especially in science teaching and learning is also very important. The fifth aspect is ethical and policy safeguards. At present, well defined frameworks are not present, which are governance frameworks are essential for privacy, transparency, and bias mitigation. The UN Agency for Education and Science, the UNESCO, has emphasized cultural sensitivity and adoption in Asia Pacific. Their publications are very relevant in the context of framing policies and guidelines for local schools in global south. Now that we have seen the five pillars, let us tackle the myths and realities that often confuse educators and policymakers. There are eight myths which we'll talk about and assess their reality. The myth number one is about AI will replace teachers. The reality is that teachers remain indispensable. They have remained throughout the known history, they have remained indispensable, and they are the main source of social development and main source of human uh, development of their intellect, and they have contributed to development of science throughout the history. Teachers and the writers, they had so even if AI progresses, it will augment the tasks of teachers, but cannot replace the very significant roles which teachers play in supporting their students, in encouraging their learning, in scaffolding their uh, individualized learning, and maintaining and creating interest among the students with regard to sometimes drab and dry topics which are needed for hard work. So teachers will remain indispensable, and teachers will maintain their agency. So this is a myth that AI will somehow replace the teachers. Teachers are a significant part of the social life, and they will. So it's not never overemphasized. The second myth is that AI ensures instant learning gains. AI will help only to the extent the teachers mediate in the students, mediate with the students and support, and then what kind of infrastructure is available in the schools for the AI to help the students. And second, how curriculum and the school content and the uh, examinations are linked or aligned with the curriculum. AI does not in itself provide instant learning, but the teachers' mediations, infrastructure, and curriculum alignment are the important aspects to be kept in mind. And it's a myth to say that AI ensures instant and democratic learning for all. The third myth is about AIs as being neutral and unbiased. AI at the present is based on the training data biases, and sometimes the local languages are underrepresented in the training of the AI robots, and all the tools and technology are more geared to developed languages, particularly towards English, but the Asian languages are not properly represented. And the language has its own biases towards human thinking, and human thinking is influenced by the language people use to understand the reality. So, this third myth is that AI is neutral to everybody is a myth, and it's also has its own inbuilt biases. The number fourth myth is about AI will reduce inequality automatically. Without equity measures at school level, AI can widen the divides instead of removing and uh, automatically. reducing the inequality. The divides between urban and rural schools already exist, and if the proper frameworks and policy guidelines and infrastructure is not provided, this may widen the gap. So, without equity measures for all schools and for all type of people in all communities, we need to keep in mind that AI is not reducing inequality automatically, but the human role, the role of society, the government, and other school administration is very important in reducing the inequality among girls, among male students, and everybody, rich or poor, or local or far off communities. The fifth myth is about AI makes science universally engaging. But this is not true, and engagement rises with simulations. But teachers' facilitation sustains curiosity. The role of science education, the role of teachers in science education and in education in general is that they develop, teachers are very critical component of students' critical thinking capabilities. They maintain, these teachers create interest because of their mentorship and because of their guidance they provide and encouragement they give to the students. So teachers, AI does not make science education or education in general universally engaging, but the role of teachers is as a facilitator to maintain curiosity, critical thinking is very important. The sixth myth is about AI can fully personalize learning. Although the current situation is that individual students can interact AI tools and they can generate their own personal level, personal interest, and personal questions they can ask. But still, the presence of the teachers and the school and the community and the oversight which they provide, the school will always oversight, the teachers will always have an oversight, and the community and the local society will have an oversight. So personalization is one aspect of learning, but still uh, the oversight is ensured. So the reality that the school and the government and the society will keep and their oversight through their teachers and through the parents also. Seventh myth is adoption is cost free and once the tools exist. In the early days of internet, same was said, but still the costs, early days of internet, they were said that the internet will provide free education, but the costs of tools and the equipment and the infrastructure are still a very important issue in the south, in the global south, particularly in developing countries. So the ongoing costs, including training of teachers, infrastructure, and governance, is is making the adoption of AI still a important question. So in reality, although it appears that AI will reduce the cost access to information, but the useful and relevance of the school is very important. Last myth we need to talk about in this section is that the AI is universally accepted by teachers, but many teachers express skepticism, critical, they cite their workload and lack of training. So if we have to integrate the benefits of AI, we need to take the teachers into confidence that they will remain the most important factors in education system. In science classrooms, AI can be transformative. Not only in science classrooms, but also in general classrooms, AI can be transformative. But if only if the human agency is preserved, mean that the role of the teachers and the role of the individual students is very important. So, by creating lab simulations, AI provides virtual labs where resources are scarce, but students must critically evaluate the results. AI can also help teachers design prompts where students test AI generated hypotheses against real world data. Students reflect weekly on when AI helped or hindered their reasoning. Then collaborative projects, AI must support data analysis, but, but group discussions ensure creativity and conceptual outline. Let us wrap up what I have said. AI powered schooling in Asia's global south thrives when it is teacher centered, equity driven, and agency preserving. Myths of replacement and neutrality must be challenged with realities of augmentation, bias, and contextual adaptation. Science education, in particular, benefits from AI as a scaffold for inquiry, not just a substitute for human judgment. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Education AI Parixes, and let me know in the comments what role do you think AI should play in your classroom or your school. Thank you very much.